Okay, family, for those of you that think that the moon landing was real, you better think again. I asked one question in the beginning about that moon landing. And I said, if the moon landing is real, and Neil Armstrong said when he get off that shuttle, lunar shuttle, whatever they call it, and he stepped on the ground, he said there's one giant step for man and one great step for mankind. Who took the video? Who was the one taking the video when he get out that space shuttle to step on the moon? That was my first question. Who was the person that take the video? If the person that take the video was on the moon, that means Neil Armstrong was not the first person to walk on the moon. Think it's not illegal yet. The clips here can show you exactly what I'm talking about. Hang on, folks.
Wires, look at this footage.
But the alien was like, hey, nigga, I got you.
Does this look natural? Or does it look like he's being lifted by wires?
I get the call, 1193. Apollo 11, this is Houston. Go ahead. Alright, line looks to me in pretty fine shape. That's all we can see clear. Okay, in reference to your question on this 13 on the decal, I understand that you had used up
See it.
content of the refresh O2 package, and at that time,
Stop playing.
Then there's this footage of Neil and Buzz putting up the American flag. But if they were both on the moon's surface, who's shooting the footage? And how is the flag waving if there's no atmosphere on the moon?
Hello?
Now, sure, we've been told that there was an aluminum tube holding up the flag, but it seems to be moving around a lot. Now, here's a picture of what an Apollo astronaut spacesuit looked like. But look at the soles of the shoes. They don't look anything like the footprints the astronauts supposedly made in the lunar dust. And what about the heat? The surface temperature on the moon during the day is over 250 degrees Fahrenheit. That's as hot as an oven. The film inside their cameras should have melted. But there are thousands of pictures that all came out perfectly fine.
Well, fine, except for the whole world shadows, no stars, movie props, visible lights, and stuff being hoisted by cranes.
Right, except for that. And there are plenty of photos that are flat out doctored. If you remember our episode on NASA's Mars cover-up, we proved that the photos of Mars were altered before being released to the public. This is a technique perfected during Apollo. The Apollo handheld cameras had special crosshairs on them called their soul marks. And these were here to help make sure the photos were printed properly from the negatives and not distorted, and to make it easier to stitch photos together for panoramas. But in some of the photos, the crosshairs aren't there, or are only in part of the picture. In other photographs, objects appear in front of the crosshairs. Now that's physically impossible, unless the objects were added after the photo was taken, by layering them on top of empty backgrounds. And there are even more problems with the photography. Here's a picture of an Apollo astronaut saluting the American flag. But look at his feet. The shadows don't even reach them. It's like he was edited in later and somebody forgot to add a shadow. Now, even if we can explain all these anomalies in the photos, there's a big reason why nobody can get to the moon. A reason why human beings can't leave Earth at all, at least not yet. The reason is real and scientifically proven as fact. Radiation.
Babel was destroyed, and everybody was on there. Everybody spoke one language at first. This is what they teach you about the Tower of Babel. But you know what that story is symbolic of? The Tower of Babel story is symbolic of them cutting down our ancient trees. Once they cut the trees down, we used to let our locks grow real long. And our locks was connected to these trees, these energy pyramids, these energy towers. So once they cut our ancient trees down, then we lost our ancient connection with our planet. That was the first thing they did to us. I keep telling y'all, every mountaintop is a motherfucking tree stump, my nigga. There's no such thing as a mountain. Those are ancient trees that were cut down. And they are hiding the truth from you in plain sight. Because if they let you know that ain't no mountain, that's really a tree stump, you're like, oh shit, that was a big ass tree. Now they gotta answer this for you. Why the fuck was the tree so big? Now that's gonna lead into where you was on a higher frequency and y'all were bigger. Now we back to that story of these giants that walked Earth again. You can Google that. They say digging up bones of us 30, 40, 50 feet. Eric, I keep telling y'all, ain't no such thing as no motherfucking dinosaurs. They didn't even mention them in their Bible. I don't see a documentary, not a chapter in their Bible. How the fuck you forget to mention them? Because they never existed. You know what the dinosaur bones come from? Your bones. Those are the bones of how big we were. And then they go make a fake ass alligator head and put it on them big ass bones.
See, they're blocking the proof out.
Shit up in the museum and named the dinosaurs. And made all these fancy names. Triceratops. Tyrannosaurus Rex. Fuck out of here. Them album bones in that bitch, nigga. Go in any museum and ask to touch the dinosaur bones. They're gonna be plastered bones. They're not real. And then ask them where the real bones at. Right. Under the Vatican with everything else. You show them folks the real bones. Show my people the real bones. Human bones. Yeah, them be human bones that big. Wanna crop a little head on that bitch and call it a dinosaur. So that story is symbolic of this is how our first separation started with us, because see, this is how we fell into a tribal state.
Yep.
See, a lot of us understand that we originally come from tribal states, but a lot of us don't know that before we were tribes, we wasn't tribes originally. It was when they disconnected us from each other that we fell in frequency. So we went into a tribal state in order to survive.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Tower of Babel was destroyed.
Trees moving. Trees literally moving.
Winter is
Family, there you have it.
So if you're faced with the challenge
But don't believe
of
nothing I'm posting. Do your own research for yourself.
you have to see this.
Until then, I'm out of here. Peace out. Lots of love. Stay dangerous.